Okie dokie, here we go. We're getting to the nitty gritty this time in this vlog. Now, as I said before in the vlog I just did a couple of minutes ago, Eggy and I, or I in particular, Eggy's just here to give me some moral support. I'm going to talk about a couple of things today. One is about, actually I might do 3 vlogs. I might do one on Second Life, I might do one on this particular topic I'm going to talk about now, and I might do one on another game that I play, and I might also do another one on another game. So you might get, what's that, 3, 4, you might get 5 vlogs today. So there you go, that'll give you something to look at. Alright, so I was looking at the YouTube stuff, and I was looking at Stephen Hilton. Okay, he's the one that's married. They're separated now, but he's the one that's married or separated to Laura. And he brought up something really important, I think, and that is, don't care what other people think. You can't make everybody happy at the same time. There's always going to be something somebody finds offensive, upsetting, and just incorrect and inappropriate for you to say. So you can't please everybody. And if you went around in life trying to please everybody, the only one you're hurting is yourself. You're not hurting anybody else. And when you get born in this life, when you're born into this world, you come in by yourself. Unless you're a twin or a triplet or a quad. Other than that, you're by yourself. When you die, you go out by yourself. Okay? This world, you've got to adapt to. This life, you have to adapt to. And you have to be, don't go out of your way to hurt people. But, people are going to hurt you, and they're not going to care. They don't care. So, and yet you're there walking around, treading around them on broken glass in case you hurt their feelings. But yet it's all right for them to hurt yours and get away with it, and you still have to kiss their asses and say, oh, it's okay, it's all right, I don't mind. Well, I'm sorry, it's not okay. It's not all right. And I do mind. So I'll just give you a bit of a background here. Now, I'm not going to mention any names because if they're watching this, they'll know who they are. So I don't need to be putting any names out there whatsoever. But I joined back in 1988 when I was but a young girl. I think I would have been around about 18. I think I would have been 17 or 18. If I was 17, I would have been almost 18. I joined a particular church. You know what? I'm going to name the name of the church. It was the Mormons, otherwise known as the Latter-day Saints. They don't like being called Mormons. They prefer to be called Latter-day Saints. Now, at first, they treated me well. They treated me with respect. They helped out whenever they could. Because at that time I didn't have a car. They would come and they would get me and take me to church. They've got callings, so you get certain little jobs in the chapel, like in the church. Well, I had one of those, and everything was fine for about 6 months. And then after they knew that they'd got me into the church, they changed. And they would not come and give me a lift. They made me feel small. They were insulting. I would go to church happy. I would come out in tears. They were absolutely horrible. And I stopped going. I became inactive. That's what they call people who stop going to church. Well, when we moved from Melbourne up here to Gippsland, my mother and I, because my mum was alive then and I had my daughter, she was only just over 1. She's still a baby. We decided that we would not tell anybody that we were moving. But we made the mistake of mentioning it to one family who had been treating us really nice. The others weren't, but this particular family did. They were lovely, and we classified them as friends. So, of course, we let them know that we were moving. So we thought, oh, this is wonderful. We're going to be able to get away from that church. We're not going to be bothered or anything like that with their fake caring, their fake sincerity, everything. And I get a knock on the door. We hadn't been here for 3 weeks. And I get a knock on the door, and it's the bishop of the church down here. It seems that this family that we told in Melbourne that we were moving had got hold of the bishop down there and told him, and he told the bishop from here. So the church found out where we were, and they came a knocking on the door. So once again, for the first month and a half, we were treated really well. Then it all went back to normal. Nasty, horrible, fake sincerity. False, fake words of caring. Since I've been in this church, while here in Gippsland, which would have to be about 22 years, I have been told that if I want to go to church and I can't drive, don't ask any of the members for a lift. I can walk. Now, I might add that it is around about 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5k between here and that chapel. So they expect a female on her own to walk along the highway every Sunday in order to go to church, and then walk all the way from that church along the highway back again to where I live. They are always saying, if there's anything we can do, just let us know. We would be pleased to help. We'd love to help. I had an issue in the backyard for about 4.5, 5 years. And I almost begged them to come and help me. No, they wouldn't do it. Made up every single excuse under the sun so they did not have to come and help. Until and they even went as far as to get guys to come out and give quotes, knowing full well they weren't going to go ahead with it. Till in the end, I had a friend come and he helped me and we did it together. Yet they wouldn't come and do it. Hang on a minute. Something's going on here. Hang on. Doesn't help because Eggy's on my arm. There we go. And then when I had got it all done, when I had got that particular thing I needed help with done, then they made the excuse up and they changed their reason why they weren't going to do it to something totally different. Every time they've come to help, it's been because I have asked and asked and asked and asked and asked and asked and asked. When we had COVID and we were all in lockdown, not one of them, not one of them got on the phone and asked if I was okay. Not one. But they did with everybody else. So the latest thing, and not only that, okay, get this right. One of them from one of the other chapels next town down, right? He came and he was helping clear a bit here and a bit there and everything else. And I said to him one day, I said, I'm not going to mention any names. And I said to him, I said, do you know anybody who can, one, take out a kitchen, two, go get another kitchen that we buy, and then put that kitchen that we bought in where the old kitchen was? Yeah, I can do it. I said, are you sure? Yeah. I said, now I don't know where my daughter's going to get the kitchen from. No, that's okay. I've got a trailer. I'll go do it. So you sure? Yes, I'm positive. I'll do it. Just let me know. I'll go get it. I'll take your old kitchen out and I'll put your new kitchen in. I said, are you 100% sure? And he said yes. There was no money agreed on or anything like that to pay him. He didn't want any money. Well, I'm assuming he didn't want any money because he didn't bring that up. And that is what you would do, isn't it? If you're going to say, yeah, okay, well, I'll help, you would not normally, you would say, well, I need some petrol money, or or it will be this amount of money for, this amount, certain amount for me coming and doing it for you. But no, he didn't do any of that, right? Then I asked him if he knew anybody who had any firewood, because I've got a fire, a wood fire. I said, now I don't want to buy any wood. I said, do you know anybody who's got any wood that doesn't want it? Oh, I've got wood. I'm not using it. You can have that. Notice he says, I can have that. I said, are you sure? And he said, yep, not a problem. I So, okay then. So I'm in the shower and I come out because it was a bit cold. And I thought I'll go out to the garage and I'll get a little tiny bit of wood that I've got left in the garage and I'll start the fire. So I open up the front door and there's this whopping great big trailer in my carport filled with wood. No sign of the guy, so I know where it had come from. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm exceedingly grateful for it, okay? So he comes back around about 3 days later. Hang on. Okay, so he comes back 3 days later. And he says that's going to be $60. I said, pardon? $60. I said, what for? The wood. I said, but you said I could have it. Nah, nah, it's $60. I said, now, keep in mind that some of the pieces of wood had already been burned. Well, he didn't get his $60. And I'll tell you why he didn't get his $60. I said to him, I said, now look, I said, before you take the kitchen out of the kitchen here, I said, we've got to make sure we've got the other kitchen completely here before you take that one out. I said, because once you've taken that one out, because once you take that one out, I won't have a working kitchen. Yeah, no problem. So a couple of days later, he comes over with a mate of his. And before I know anything, your kitchen's out. Something he can't catch better. So he's put it all out underneath my carport, right? He hasn't bothered to take any of it away or anything like that, right? He's just left it all out there. So we go to get the first lot of the kitchen. So we go and my daughter pays for it. And we go to get the first lot of the kitchen. Now, keep in mind, it was 5 trips to continue to get all of the kitchen. So 3 trips was perfectly okay. That was okay. On the 3rd trip, he had to bring back a bench, a cabinet thing. Now, the bench tops of this kitchen are completely and utterly nothing but beautiful black granite stone. The kitchen itself, she's paid $1,000 for it. Now I've got to pay her back for it, but I don't mind that. But the kitchen's cost her $1,000, okay? But the kitchen itself is worth over $12,000, probably more by now, because of the woodwork and because of the granite, okay? Now, the doors and stuff have got chipboard, okay? There's chipboard behind it. So you can't get it wet, because if you get it wet, if you get chipboard wet, it swells up and it starts to crumble, okay? Now, he knows this. He knew this. So he comes with his big trailer that's got no roof on it at all, and it's got no doors on it at all, okay? So he comes with that, he collects the cupboard thing, and we get it back here, and we unload everything, except for this one thing, right? And it's exceedingly heavy. I mean, I couldn't lift it because of my pageants and my neck and all of that sort of thing in the spine and my shoulders and that sort of thing. I can't lift much. I can lift, but I can't lift anything majorly heavy. So he says to me, now, remember it's been raining, okay? So he says to me, he says, I'm going to like just put it here if I can get it off the trailer. He said, I'm going to put it in just here on the grass. Now, the grass was all muddy and soaking wet, right? I said, you can't put it there. I said, the chipboard's going to get stuffed. Well, I'll just leave it here in the trailer. I said, no. I said, you won't. I said, you'll unload it. I said, and you will put it inside. I said, if that gets wet, I said, the chipboard's going to go. But I'll put a cover over it. I'll put a tarp over it. I said, well, you said you were going to do that the other night with the other stuff. I said, you never bothered to come back. I said, you never bothered to answer my messages. Well, we had a massive, great big argument. And he turns around to me. Now, keep in mind, he did not ask for any money. There was no money arrangement made. Okay, but my daughter, out of the goodness of her heart, said to me, look, we can't expect him to do it for nothing. I'm going to give him some money. So he had been paid some money to go get the kitchen and bring it back and put it in. Okay, now he took the money, but he wanted more money. After he'd been given the first lot, he got greedy. And then he turns around to me and he says, well, why don't you pay for somebody? Then he turned around when I said, look, I'll ring such and such and see if he's got any ideas. He turned around to me and he said, oh, don't do that. He said, he's done enough free work for you as it is. Now, this so-called free work, I might add, was a work project that the church do for their members for free. But apparently I was meant to pay for that. How dare I get the church around my place to do a working bee? How dare I? But it's okay for everybody else to get the church members over there to do a working bee for them. Well, then he decided that he was just going to take the trailer and he was going to put it in the vacant lot across the road from his place, where everybody could see it, except for him when he went inside and closed the doors. Well, I complained. Well, we finally managed to get a couple of other people from the church to come and get it and put it underneath my carport. So that was okay. Well, he never bothered to come back. So I ended up doing another 2 trips. One was in my car to get another part of the kitchen brought back up here. And then the other one, I had to hire a ute. And then I had help getting these 2 bench top slabs of granite put on the ute, and then I got help getting them off. Now, I asked the church for help to go down and get them. They wouldn't do it, right? I ended up doing it. That was okay. So moving on to the present. I ask two people, sisters, if they will subscribe to my channel. Now one keeps saying, yeah, when she gets around to it. Now, when I first asked her, she couldn't do it right there and then because her phone was shitty. It was a real shitty phone. So she said, and she would do it when she got to her laptop. Well, I suppose that's understandable. So a couple of days go by and I contacted her and I said, don't forget to, subscribe. Oh, yes, well, I'll do it. All these excuses, right? All these reasons why she wasn't going to be doing it right there and then, okay? So I finally get hold of her the other day and I said, hang on a second. I've just got to fix this up, hang on. Why I'm getting all these, I don't know. Windows speech. What's this? Oh, it's still going. Oh. So I finally get hold of her the other day and I was really nice. And I said, look, I understand, and I've said this before in my blogs, right? You can't make people do both. If they don't want to do both, that's fine, And bloody thing, it's gone again. You got to be grateful for what you get, but there's a limit here. Now these people are always saying, if there's anything we can do, let us know. And if we can do it, we'll do it for you. Okay? So I turned around to her and I said, look, I know you get busy and everything like that. I said, but it really is important. I said, and you have said you're going to do it. I said, can you please go and do it? I said, it only takes a couple of minutes to go click. I said, that's it. If you don't want to look at the videos, that's fine. At least just go and click the link. I don't know what's happening there. So she finally comes out with it. She finally comes out with the truth. Oh, well, I am going to do it, but I'll do it at my time. I'll do it at my time, she says, not when you want me to do it. And anyway, she said, with all the things I'm doing at the moment, like, family and friends and, me going and seeing people and all of this sort of thing, she said, you're not even on my top 20 lists. I will do it when I can pair my life to your need. And right now, you're not even in the top 20 of things to do in my life. I thought, wow. That's real churchy. That's a real churchy thing to say to somebody. Now, I personally didn't think I was asking for too much. What, 2 minutes, if that, to click a link, you know, and go click subscribe. When all she does is post photos and videos of her travelling all over the place, Queensland and New Zealand and America. They've just been to America. For whatever reasons they've got for going to these places, right? America, New Zealand, they're always in New Zealand. Always in New Zealand. I'd say that they go to New Zealand 3 or 4 times a year. Back and forth to Melbourne, God knows where else they go. They go all over the place, right? They're constantly helping other people, but yet 2 minutes, fake friend. So I turn around and I ask her sister, who I might add is the same. He's just been to America, goes over to New Zealand all the time. I mean, it's ridiculous. Here, there and everywhere, you know. Her motto is, have car, will travel. Ow, Eggle! Don't! That hurts! Stop! Shit. So, anyway, that's okay. So, I was fast asleep last night, to be honest, and I got woken up by Lolly. I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'll just check my phone. And it was her sister. Oh, well, you know, my son's got one, but he's got it for fun. You know, his is for free. Is yours for free? I said mine's for free. I said it doesn't cost you anything. I said, yeah, really. I said it doesn't cost you anything. I said, and I told her why I was doing it. I said, if you could just do it, it would really help me out. Well, no, I'm not going to do it, she said. Now, all she had to do, now, I wouldn't have cared, really, if she had have just turned around and said, I'm sorry, but no. That's it. That's what she had to do, say, I'm sorry, but no, not interested. I've got another friend I asked. Egg. I've got another friend I asked if he'd go and subscribe and watch my videos, and he said not interested. I didn't say anything to him. I was okay, no problem, thank you. And I left it at that. Because he's not interested. He's not interested in going and subscribing, and he's not interested in looking at videos. He's not interested. He's got other things he does in life. He doesn't want to do YouTube. He doesn't want to look at YouTube. He doesn't want to subscribe to anyone in YouTube. Nothing. He's just not interested. So that's what he said. I'm not interested. Okay, fair enough. I haven't ripped him off as a friend. Like I haven't like unfriended him or anything like that. I'm still his mate. I don't have any hard feelings against him, not a problem. But he was honest. He said not interested. That's perfectly okay. That's what I've said to you. You know, you're dealing with the public. Not everybody is going to want to do it, right? But, here's the but. She turns around to me and she says, oh, I haven't even been to my son's. And he's sick, he's got cancer. And he's in hospital. And you know what, with me going and looking after him and all of that sort of thing, and then, you know, talking to family and talking to friends and, you know, doing this and doing that and doing something else. Oh, I just don't have time. And she forgets one little thing. One is, I've lost my mum to cancer. So I know exactly what it's like. I know exactly what she's going through, and I know exactly how she's feeling. Because I did the same thing for 9.5 months, actually longer. I didn't have anybody else. And I turned around to her and I thought to myself, well, that's it. Now, on top of all of that, her sister is posting photos and videos of them on Facebook, okay, of them, one in New Zealand, all the trips of them in New Zealand are all posted over Facebook. Her trip to America are all posted all over Facebook. Her trip to Queensland, all posted all over Facebook. All the other little things that she does, okay, all over Facebook. So I messaged her back and I said, thank you for being honest. But as a friend who has always told another friend that if that they can help, they will, considering that you travel here, there and everywhere all the time, and yet you can't spend 2 minutes to do this for a friend. I said, have a good birthday, because it was her birthday. I said, you are obviously too busy to talk to me, so I won't bother you again. Good night. I'm going to bed, going back to sleep. So she sends me out another message. I've been there to do this, and I've been there to do that, and I messaged her back. And I said, you forget, I've lost family members to cancer. So you're not the only one. I said, 2, I said, you travel all over the place. I said, you travel all over the country. I said, you travel interstate. I said, you travel out of Australia constantly. I said, because I see it. I said, because your sister posts it. I said, you've got the nerve to sit there and tell me you don't have enough time. You don't have 2 minutes to spare to do this for a friend. I said, well, I'm not contacting you again. Goodbye. And with that, I blocked her. I'm done. I'm done. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. Guys, please, if people like myself who have a channel ask you to subscribe, be honest. Don't have to go into detail and say why you're not going to do it. Just say, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. That's all we got to hear. We don't need to hear your details on as to why. Because if you're posting pictures and videos of you going into like New Zealand, Queensland, America, back and forth to Gippsland, God knows where else. And you turn around to us and say, oh, we don't have time? Oh, you got time to do everything else? Doesn't take much, 2 minutes if that. Click, 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 that's boom. This part has been met. This bit here has been met. This bit will never be met, but this one has. Don't give us these reasons why you're not going to do it and blah, 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 blah. And then she turns around and says, oh, well, you're expecting me to put my son, put you before my son. I never said that. I never said you have to subscribe to mine before you subscribe to your son's. I never said that. I don't expect her to put me before her son. What kind of a person would I be? I would never expect that of anybody. I wouldn't do that for anybody else. I wouldn't put them before my daughter. No matter who they were. I wouldn't do it. But then I wouldn't go around saying to somebody, I'm sorry, now I've got another girlfriend who's started a channel. And if I didn't want to subscribe to her channel, right, I wouldn't turn around and say, oh, I don't have the time. Because like I'm going to dance classes and I'm vlogging myself and, I'm doing my gardening and, I'm doing my shopping and, and all of that sort of thing. And I'm talking to my daughter and all of that. Oh, no, I don't have time. But yet I've got time to go dancing and I've got time to talk to my daughter and I've got time to do housework. But I don't have 2 minutes to go and go click, click, you're subscribed to help her out. And I certainly don't turn around to her and say, if there's anything I can do, just let me know and I'll gladly help. If I can. And then she asks me to do something really simple, like go and press a button and subscribe to something that's important to her. And yet I can't do that. I can't make the time. I can't take the time out to help her out. What kind of a friend is that? Seriously, what kind of a friend is that? That they wouldn't make time to help a friend out when it's important. They're fake friends. They're fake. Totally fake. And I'm not going to say I'm sorry because I'm not sorry at all. If you're watching this and you're offended and you're hurt and you think that it's inappropriate and how dare I? Well, how dare you think it's okay to go and hurt a person and say that to a person to begin with? It's not okay. It is not okay to degrade another person. It is not okay to belittle another person. It is not okay to tell another person that they're not worth your time. And expect expect that person to kiss your ass. And this is going out to everybody out there. Don't let people treat you like you are shit under their shoe and then expect you to kiss their ass and you tell them it's okay, it doesn't matter. You can tell me anything you want. You can treat me however you want. It does not matter. I will not change. You are the best person in the world. Well, I'm telling you, this little pink girl ain't gonna take it no more. That ain't butternut parsnips. It's not on. You wouldn't like it if it was done to you. You would not like it done to you. That's the bottom line. You would not like it done to you. So why do it to other people? Okay, I know I'm not wonderful. I know that. But you know what? At least you have family around you that want to be with you, who care about you. You got friends who want to be around you and care about you and ring you up and ask you how you are. You know, there are people out there that don't have that. I'm one of them. You know, people like myself who don't have a lot of friends, if any, and don't have family that want to be around them. And you turn around and you say that to them. Now, talking about fake friends, fake family members. There you go, here's another one. Got family members in Queensland. My niece misunderstood something I said about my sister being her mother, who is now dead. So she's twisted it around to make it sound toxic. And she's turned all the family that's in Queensland against me. To the degree that I've had death threats. So then I finally get back in contact with other family members here in Melbourne when my second eldest sister was sick with cancer. She has passed on since. Now, for the first 3 years, everything was going great. We would meet up. One of my niece's places, and we would spend Christmases together, and we would spend birthdays together. What are you doing, Egg? Come on. Do you want to go down there? We would spend Christmases together, New Year's Eve, all that sort of thing together, right? I would go over there through the year. Now keep in mind, it would take me about an hour and 20 minutes to get there. and an hour and 20 minutes to get home. Sometimes I would be needed to go over there, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. I would get over there, and then I wouldn't leave until like maybe 2:30 in the morning, and I would be driving back, and I would be that tired. I would have to pull over on the side of the highway, and I would have to have power naps, and I would finally, sometimes I wouldn't get back until like maybe 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I'd go straight back, and then I'd go straight to bed. You know, that kind of thing. So about 2 years ago on New Year's Eve, this one niece turns around, she says, "Oh, Auntie," she says, "do you want to come over for New Year's Eve? We'll celebrate with a couple of drinks." I say, "Yeah, okay, cool, no problem." Now, our idea of drinks was vodka in punch, and I'm just watching Eggy, and we would, we'd do our own drinks up and stuff like that, and we'd get sold and stuff like that. Quite cool. What are you doing? Don't go touching my shoes. Hang on a minute. Talking about shoes, just for a second, and just getting off the topic for a sec. Look at these. Look, aren't these awesome? Look. Cost me $2. And these ones cost me $3. Look. Aren't they just scrummy? Look. Aren't they beautiful? Anyway, hang on a minute. I'll put them up here. So she turns around to me and she says, "Would you like to come over? We'll have a bit of a drink and, we'll see the new year in." I'm going, "Yeah, okay, not a problem." So she said, "Well, you're going to have to, go Harvey's in a bottle of vodka with me." I said, "I don't mind doing that." I said, "But hang on a minute." I said, "What happened to the bottle of vodka that I paid for on my birthday a year ago that we didn't get to drink?" "Ah, so-and-so drank that." I said, "All right, fair enough." So there was one whole bottle of vodka I paid for that I never got any of to begin with because somebody else drank it, okay? So I went Harvey's in another one. So she made sure she got the expensive bottle. So that was $30. That was $30, right? But I didn't mind. I paid it, no problem. Now I put another $40 in fuel in the tank. So that's what, 30, 40, 50, 60, so $70 right there before anything, right? Plus an hour and a half's drive to get there. So I get there, that's not a problem. She's made the punch with her bottle of vodka that she got. And filled it right up to the brim. It was right up to the very brim. Well, maybe about like that. Well, by the time she'd had a couple of glasses and I'd had one glass, and a couple of other people had had some glasses, right, it had gone down to about like that. Okay. So she turns around and she says to me, "Oh, my girlfriend's coming over." I said, "Okay, no problem." She's going to bring a bottle of vodka to, help later on. Okay, no problem. Now, the punch itself was reasonably strong to begin with. because I think she'd overdone it with the vodka. But anyway, it was quite strong. I was finding it hard to get through the first glass, put it that way. So if a girlfriend comes over, now you've got to remember, we want to air our dirty laundry, do we? Okay, well let's air the dirty laundry, shall we? My niece decided that she would have a little fling with a guy and allow him to videotape her. She didn't think anything of it until maybe a year and a half, maybe later, when her daughter, who would have been around about 12 or 13, maybe a little bit younger, decided to go on this adult sex site. What are you doing? And use her mother's credit card and make a profile up. Now, while she'd done that and she was on it, this guy had seen her log in because of the credit card details and thought it was my niece, and decided to send it the dirty, disgusting sex videos to my niece, who he thought was my niece, when it wasn't my niece, it was her daughter. Can you imagine? So my niece had to go and have her daughter hypnotized to have that erased from her mind, right? So you want to air your dirty laundry, you want to treat me like I'm shit under your shoe, here you go, you got a reason to do it. So I said to my niece, I said, yeah, okay, not a problem. So her girlfriend comes over, and she also got herself hypnotized to stop taking drugs. And to quit smoking cigarettes, okay? Now, I'm a non-smoker. Now, usually when I go over there to her place, and, you know, before when she used to smoke cigarettes and drugs and stuff, she would do it all under her fan, or she'd do it in the laundry, and then so that you couldn't smell it, okay? And then she'd come back out into the lounge room, okay? Not once did they all convert outside and stay outside and just constantly smoke everywhere, okay? They never did that. That was the first time they ever did. So the girlfriend comes and she's got her bottle of vodka. And they go outside and they're all smoking like anything, and cigarettes and stuff. And of course, there was no room to sit outside because the girlfriend had brought her three kids. Three kids. So her kids were taking up seats outside. The adults were taking up the seats outside. So there was no seats for me to sit in. And, pardon me, I wasn't going to sit on the concrete. Plus, I didn't want to breathe in all the cigarette smoke. So I opted to stay inside, thinking my niece would come inside and talk. So the girlfriend comes in after being outside for a little bit and decides to empty half her bottle, if not all, her bottle of vodka straight into the punch bowl. Stirs it around a little bit and says, oh, that's slightly a little bit strong. I go over and I take a mouthful of it, and my God, I nearly passed out. But they couldn't really taste it because they were all semi-pissed anyway, so they couldn't really tell the difference, because we all know that when you get to a certain degree after drinking alcohol, you don't taste it. So there goes me having any punch. So there's $30 down the drain because I didn't really get to have any of it. So every time my niece would come inside and start to talk to me, the girlfriend would see, and she would come back in and she would take the attention off me, put it on her, and drag my niece back outside. I sat in that house, in that lounge room, for 4.5, 5 hours with nobody to talk to, while they were all outside talking and laughing and joking and everything like that. As soon as New Year's hit, I was in tears. I got up and I left. Said my goodbyes and I left. So the next day, my niece texts me and she says, "Oh, Auntie, I'm so sorry for forgetting that you were even in the house. I was so drunk. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot you were even there." Isn't that nice? So I said to her, well, it's not entirely your fault. I said, you were plastered. I said, and secondly, I said, every time you did come into the house to talk to me, I said, your girlfriend from outside would come in and take your attention away off me, put it onto her, and you would go back outside with her. I said, I had no hope at all of talking to you while she was there. I said, then she turns around and she says, well, you could have come out. And I said, well, no, I couldn't. I said, because there was, Eggie, stop, because there was no room to sit. I said, her kids were taking all the spare seats. I said, when I did try and come out, I said her kids saw me there. I said, and they slammed the glass sliding door in my face and gave me a dirty look of luck as if to say, don't fucking even think about coming out here. Well, oh my God. Like, how dare I? How dare I say anything about her girlfriend? How dare I say anything about her girlfriend's kids? So she disowned me. So it's been about 2, nearly 3 years now. She won't reply to my phone calls. She won't reply to my texts. She won't reply to my posts I put on her feed in Facebook. Nothing. It's as if I never even existed. All because, shame on me, I mentioned something about her girlfriend she didn't like. Mind you, she does forget though that, like, when her girlfriend told her that she'd take her daughter for the night and she'd come and pick her up, at the very last minute, her girlfriend changed her mind and said that if she wanted her daughter to go over to her place and spend the night, she had to drive her there, which was an hour's drive. And my niece actually did drive it to be able to drop her daughter off. So she had a 2-hour drive. And why? Because her girlfriend was just too tired and she'd been drinking a little bit. And she just didn't feel like coming all the way out and doing what she'd say she'd do and pick her up. So unless my niece drove her there, well, tough titties for my niece and tough titties for my niece's daughter, who, I might add, was really looking forward to going over there and spending the night. Tough titties for her. She could stay with my niece because she wasn't going to come and get her. Oh, but my niece chose her over her own family. You know what else I hate? You know what else I hate, Eggie? Should we tell them? Why not? I hate it when so-called family members, when you text them and they never bothered to bloody reply back. And then every now and then you'll get this one odd message from them. Oh, you can talk to us anytime. Just text us. We'll be right. Yeah, right, sure. What, 30 messages later, you decide after you've been on and you've seen the messages and you still don't reply? Fair income, really? Fake fucking family members, that's fake. If you don't want to answer my messages and you don't want to be in contact with me, unfriend me. Block me. Don't bloody stay there and just ignore me. Could be important, you know. But you don't care. That's the thing, you don't care. But I tell you what, if somebody did it to you, you'd care. It's fake. It is all fake. Guys, if you've got friends or if you know people that you think are friends and you've got family members that are doing this to you, stand up. Stand up. Don't let them treat you like this. Don't let them. They're not worth it. You're better off being alone than be surrounded by people that are like that, because they won't change and they're just nasty. That's nasty. So there you go. So with that, I'm going to end this particular vlog. And I'll start the other one. So stay tuned, because the next one's a real doozy. I'll see you soon.